Alrighty. I'm going to show Anubis nades. As always, how to jump throw, how to bind that to a key, I'll put in the description. How to do this, I'll put in the description. And how to like practice with infinite nades like I'm doing, I'll put in the description. I'm going to start out with B nades. If you just want to use 2 nades to take the site, you could do this one here where you line up with the middle, and then you, this like plus here, you aim at the middle and go a little bit to the right and throw. Regular left click throw. Then you get on this ledge, get stuck in the corner, and at this top left tooth you kind of aim right there. And with just those 2 nades, the first one was for left, the second one's for right. You have pretty much sight, just be careful of there and here. But to prevent these 2 spots, because someone's almost always going to be water, you can get up here and go to this corner, aim at the bottom right of this box, like this rock, like right there, and jump throw. And then you get stuck in between this box and this wall here. Aim right there and jump through that. And that's how you smoke water, and then you molly behind this pillar. So instead of that, the nades I like to throw are, they give you a little bit more sight control, and also one person can throw them. So you line up at this corner here, and kind of where this line meets up with here, you aim at this little, you line this up, aim here, take a step forward and left click throw, and then you take that step back again, and you go aim right here, and that'll smoke off long. And here, you just have to be careful of cubby. If you actually, I took a little too big of a step. It's supposed to land like right here normally, but you still have to be careful of cubby, and then do the water smoke, and then if you need to, you can get up here, kind of on this hill or something. And I like to aim, I like to crouch and aim like up here. This normally works better if you're smoked off. So let's say you're smoked off here. That's a bad smoke, but say you're smoked off. Crouch and aim at the top here, and that'll molly back plat, and that should get the guy out of there. But if you don't have this smoke here, you can kind of just like wing it. Just have someone molly this, and then just kind of throw this that direction. A little bit better than that. Yeah, like right there, and that should work as well if you're not smoked off. But yeah, that's why I like the smokes that land like mid and like right here, because it gives you a little bit more sight control, and you can hide more places, and you need the water smoke too as well. For an official execute, I should say. And then flashes wise, anything through these windows is good. You really don't have to be, well, just don't do that. But you really don't have to be super specific with flashes. Either of these do the trick from kind of wherever. And then another good spot to flash is you can jump throw flash something over here. And there's this little gap right here that it's a good place to also throw flashes through. It'll flash like water and plat players. Oh, so one thing I like to do is a CT if I'm ever playing water. So just have your water player do this maybe a couple rounds, but you can line up with this pillar here. Doesn't have to be super specific, like you can kind of just generally throw it as you're running, but that kind of takes practice. For the first couple times you do it, line up with this pillar and aim at like this little box, aim at the right side of it, and just kind of left click throw, and that should land in the water, and you will have a one-way. Over in this corner you'll be able to see it here, and then you'll be able to see the heads here, and they will not be able to see you. So that's a really cool smoke. They're not gonna be, you're not visible over there, so you can kind of just get a couple kills with that. I'm sure they'll catch on at some point. Maybe they won't. Not in our Gold Nova lobbies. They'll just think that's a miss smoke every time. If you're also a CT, you can, if you want to play kind of safe, with a smoke in your hand, you can kind of line up against this wall wherever you want, and just jump and hold D, and then immediately press A when you're in the air, but it's a nice little jump spot. You can't get hit really unless they pre-fire your head, but just kind of press D when you jump, and then yeah, you can see into the main, and then you can throw smoke when you see someone. You can also, as a CT, if two people are playing on the site, you can have someone crouch here and someone get on their head, and you can actually see it's a little lower than this, but you can see like this, you can see over, and you'll be able to get some kills like that possibly. If someone wants to get aggressive and push through, just like anywhere over here, it doesn't have to be specific, but I like to aim at this line. Just throw a flash to the right. And as long as your teammate is pushing out like this, it's a really good pop flash to blind both people up here and here. I don't think it blinds in there. No, it does not. But yeah, that's kind of what I have for B site. Alright, now for A nades, the ones I like to throw, it should be same for 64 and 128. I aim at this corner, this box, and I press W and my jump throw at the same time. And then I aim right here when that line meets here, this corner, and I just jump through that. And that should smoke off heaven and molly hell. And then for the flashes, also here, I aim around right there and just throw my flashes, and it should blind most of sight. So I do for that. If someone is like playing on site a lot, you can get up to this step and aim. For 64 tick, you want to aim at like this word bath. For 128, I think you just aim at the bottom of this A, the bottom of the sign, I should say. And you just aim there and jump throw, and it will molly anyone playing behind this on site. And then for this, for like A connector, the nades I know are you get in this corner. It should be the same for 64, 128, maybe a little different, but the second plank from the left, I kind of, like between these two dots and these two dots, I aim in the middle, jump throw that for a smoke, and then I aim up at where the dots are and kind of where the left dot is, and I throw that as a molly, and then it'll molly anyone running through the smoke, and then it'll be smoked off as well. As a CT, if you want to be a little crazy with it, with a nade, you get up on this platform and you aim at the second big line from the right where it meets the ground and a little to the right, and then you run forward and jump throw. And if you do that quick and get used to it, you can nade T's running down the stairs, and it does like 50, 60 damage if you do it right. Flashes wise, anything through these windows are pretty much good. I would aim for the right window a little bit more and try to get the flashes a little deeper, but that would be like if your guys are already on site. If you want to be a little bit more like efficient with it, and you're doing it a little later in the round, it's not just a rush, and people can like be up to the left around this corner. I line up here, and I aim kind of towards the top of this arch, like right side-ish. That's a flash to get a player to like peek around the corner here. So it'll like blind this guy and anyone kind of holding out in the open here. And then once you get to here, preferably while not being seen by heaven, but aim at kind of this sliver in between the pillar and this other big white line. And any flashes you throw behind here are not going to blind your teammates coming out because the pillar blocks it, but it will blind like heaven and mid players and stuff. So those are good flashes to throw while running out onto the site. Okay, so if you're playing a CT playing heaven and you're coming from beach, like you're a B player coming from beach to try and retake A site, you can kind of get up to heaven here and throw some nades down. You can use that to throw nades down to anyone playing on site. Also, like left and right click flashes are good through here. Yeah, any sort of nades off this top ceiling. Try and stay away from going too far here because it's a little curved. So you kind of want your nades like over where the plants are, so they go straight down. As either a heaven player, or you can do this as a retake thing too. Get stuck in this corner here, and there's this black line on this pillar here. You aim one line over, and there's this top blue dot you aim at, and you left and right click throw it, and it should bounce, land right here, and you have a nice little one-way to see. They can still see you, but it's a lot harder for them to see you than it is for you to see them. So this is really good retake smoke, so maybe you can get anyone playing over in these spots. If you're just a Heaven player in general, you can do the same thing over in this back corner, crouch and aim like right there, and just right click throw, and it'll go down to that same spot. And this is actually even more of a one-way because they like can't see you at all unless you push too far forward and they can see your gun. But you can play over here, see them coming through, and you can barely see through here. That's a good smoke to have as well. Another good thing to know for this site is if you're mid and they smoke you off here, as 2 CTs, you can actually boost over this smoke. One person crouching, another person is standing on their head, and you can see like pillar and a little bit of sight. Depends where your boost is, but you are able to boost over this smoke here. And that should be everything I know for A. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. If you want to get aggressive and push out this way and your teammate wants to flash you for water control, you can kind of aim towards this line, I believe, and just throw a flash through. And while on top of that circle, of course. And it'll blind anyone water. So maybe you can push out, see if you can get a pick or something. Oh, another thing is, this is very situational and you'll probably never use it, but this little grass here on the ground is actually wall bangable. So if you know anyone's right here, you can actually wall bang them. That's just a weird fact I found out. Yeah, I think that's it for A site. Alright, now for mid nades. Start with from spawn. You can get in this corner here. I believe this one's the same for 128 and 64. You aim at this little wooden thing sticking out right in the middle of it and jump throw. And then for 128 you can just standing, and then for 64 crouch and look at this and then stand up and then jump throw that. And the first one is for lower water for like an A rush so people can't see you, and the second one's to smoke deep here. If you want to do an even better smoke, so like the guys on the right of mid can't peek out, Sweet actually taught me this one, and you stand behind these chairs and aim. There's this little tiny leaf right here. It's part of the bigger leaf. It's like right there. You aim and just left click throw, and that'll land shorter, so it blocks off both sides, and you'll be able to run water with it. That's a nice one to know. And then if you do have the deeper smoke and you want to take control of the right side, this is a very general molly. There's no you don't need a specific lineup for this, but anywhere on the right side of this box, and you aim anywhere at the top part of this black window here, it doesn't have to be really specific. You can kind of throw this one fast. Just left click throw it, and you'll be able to molly here. Just be careful it doesn't hit anyone really close. So if someone's like playing right here, you gotta just watch for that. But the way you can help that, or deal with that, I guess, is I just kind of line up anywhere on this like white pillar here, and aim at this white line, and just jump throw a flash, and it will flash top right here, and it will blind anyone playing here. If you don't want to throw the molly or can afford the molly and you want to flash anyone here. Some kind of useful flashes if you're taking mid, just kind of stand anywhere in this general direction. Aim above the leaf, left click throw. That's to peek mid safely. And then if you want to peek that right side of mid, same spot-ish, and just this orange strip here, I just jump throw a flash here, and it will blind anyone on the right side, like this close corner. It'll blind them here. That second flash isn't super useful, but it's something I learned, so If you're doing like an A exec and you don't want to deal with the mid, you can come over to this table, and there's a little dot up here that you can kind of see. That little dot right there. This is for 64. I don't know if it's the same for 128, but you crouch, look at the dot, and then press W in your jump throw at the same time. And that will end up going to lower water. This is a nice smoke to have too because it's super deep, so they can't even like, some smokes if they're thrown a little short, they can like jump spot on these stairs. But this one they can't do anything. They're just completely smoked off. So that's a really good one to know. Again, that's completely optional. You don't really need to know that smoke, just kind of information. It's Molly mid window if you don't want to smoke off that little section there. You can, on the B side, kind of line up with this corner here, this line, and then aim. There's this little black box. I don't know if you can see my cursor's over it. You aim to the left side of that black box, and just as you're running, just throw. That one's really specific because there's kind of a narrow gap you have to hit, but it does molly there. Also, some useful smokes for any mid takes, either an A split or a B split, and you want to send people through mid. Once you have mid control, line up with this this level change between this short strip and the first step. You line up with that, and for 128, you aim at the tip of this black, V. You aim at the tip where it like meets this big rectangle, and if you aim at the left side, it will smoke B connector, and you aim at the right side, it'll smoke A connector. So like you'd want to smoke B connector for an A split and then A connector for a B split. But for 64, you just aim a little higher. And so if I aim on the right side, it'll smoke B connector, and I aim a little to the left, it should smoke A connector if I throw them right. So the A connector one will hit the window. The B connector one I did not throw right. Actually, let me try the B connector one again. Line up and then aim right there. There you go. So that one will smoke B connector, and then the A connector one will hit the window and just kind of drop right there. So you can smoke one of these two things off if you want to kind of split through and get behind them through mid. Another cool thing from there is you can throw some flashes to flash anyone playing inside of deep mid by the two connectors from the same spot. Just line it up, and I aim for right there, and you just run forward and jump throw. Take like 2 or 3 steps forward and jump throw, and it pops right over this wall and will blind anyone playing like anywhere in here. It won't blind anyone playing close behind door, so be very careful of anyone hiding there. As a CT, if you want to kind of peek through water like this to just kind of see, you can just standing or running throw smoke off this gray door pretty much anywhere. And it'll smoke deeper so that you are able to peek. And if you're worried about peeking, you can right click a flash over here, or you can kind of stand next to this little shelf and aim at this white wall a little to the right side, and as you're running just kind of throw a flash and it'll flash out this window and you'll be able to peek there. And then just some other random things I learned. If someone has you smoked off here as a T, you can have someone, I threw that really deep, but you can have someone, I don't think they'll throw the smoke this deep, you can have someone crouch here and someone stand on their head, and if you shift a little to the right, normally with a shallower smoke, you'll be able to see over and see there and there. So this is a good little boost to know for a smoke that's like in a normal spot. But yeah, you can boost and see their heads. And that's also situational. Sometimes their smoke will be shit, but normally a smoke that lands like here, you'll be able to peek over. If you don't have a smoke for lower water, and you're in mid and you want to do like a B split, so you want to go play down for water, but you don't know if someone's playing there or not, A cool little thing you can do is, with a little bit of practice, you can jump through this window onto these barrels, which I have not practiced that much, but you can jump onto here without them seeing you at all, and then you can like back off of these and like reset your aim, and then just peek out this way, and they will not be expecting you to peek out like this. Normally they're watching for you to drop down right here, and it takes a little while for your aim to reset to super accurate. So that's a quick way you can peek out there. Another random thing. Again, you'll probably never use this, but I'm just saying it to say it. If you're saving and you hear like a bunch of people coming water, a main, and it's like a 1v5 or whatever, you can jump throw your gun over this so they can't get your gun. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I know for Anubis. You don't need to know all these things. I'm just a nerd. Watch some videos. That's basically it. But hopefully this will help us in our pubs. Hopefully this will help Mystery and your team to become the #1 Anubis team. That side of the Mississippi. I don't know. Hopefully that helped.